It's morphin' time. Pterodactyl.
Hi there, this is Datila with Rangers of Wrestling, bringing you the It's Wrestling Time Friday Night Smackdown post-show. So there's no Rampage on tonight, that's why I'm only doing Smackdown. Rampage is tomorrow, but more on that later. But tonight's Smackdown was a special Christmas Eve Smackdown, and it kicked off with a Paul Heyman interview. And he was being interviewed none other than by Kyla Braxton. We all know their little banter. So she basically said that it's been 1 week since Paul Heyman was fired, and she asked him what happened. Paul Heyman says that he told the truth to Reigns, which was something that Roman didn't want to hear. Heyman said that after he told him the truth, he was humiliated publicly. And throughout this interview, Paul Heyman made a point to use the word publicly because, he was embarrassed publicly. And he says that he has no regrets telling Roman the truth and that his Raw special counsel was to protect Roman from Lesnar. That when he arrived backstage after being fired, his belongings had been tossed out. And he says that Roman Reigns is the greatest Universal Champion of all time, but he needed to be protected from Lesnar. And he wonders if maybe he should go to NXT, work with the top talent, and start over. But at this point in his career, it might be too late. And then he says he acknowledges that his career is most likely over. So if you ask me, Heyman going to NXT and work with the top talent actually is not a bad idea. I wouldn't mind doing that. And I think it would be interesting to see him work with someone from NXT, even though I personally myself don't watch NXT. But I'm curious to see how this plays out. I think maybe Heyman's probably going to align himself with Lesnar at day one, and I think he's going to somehow screw Roman out of the title. That's just me. So then after this, we had the SmackDown Women's Championship match. It was Charlotte Flair versus Toni Storm. This is actually a good, decent match. Was it? Yeah, it was. Of course, Charlotte tried to taunt Toni during the match, and she tried to use the ropes while she was pinning Toni. That didn't work because the ref caught her. But afterwards, it was actually a clean finish. So props to WWE for making this match a clean finish. So now, how do we get a rematch? Where do we go from here? So it's kind of a double-edged sword, if you ask me. If you give them a dirty finish, we're getting a rematch. You know that. And then people would be upset that it's a dirty finish. But this was a clean finish. So where do we go from here? Well, they're probably going to make some type of way for Toni Storm to get a rematch. Probably at day one. We got to wait and see, though. So then we had the 12 Days of Christmas 12th Man Gauntlet, and the winner received a title shot against Shinsuke Nakamura. So the gauntlets kicked off with Angel Garza and Mansoor. Angel Garza made quick work of Mansoor, ended up eliminating him. And then after that was Eric. He, by some miracle, ended up eliminating Eric, but he could not get through Shanky. So then Ivar came out and eliminated Shanky. Then Sheamus eliminated Ivar. And then Drew Gulak was up next. Poor Drew Gulak didn't last that long. He only had 5 seconds, and he took a bro kick and got eliminated by Sheamus. Then it was Cesaro. The Cesaro versus Sheamus again. It's always a good bout. Only reason Sheamus was able to eliminate Cesaro was because of Ridge Holland, who caused a distraction. And then it was Ricochet was up next. So Ricochet, he took it to Sheamus, and surprise, Ricochet ended up eliminating Sheamus, but he eliminated Sheamus because Cesaro came out, took out Ridge Holland, and caused a distraction. And then after that was Humberto Carrillo. But before he fought Humberto Carrillo, Sheamus cheap shot at Ricochet. But it was a quick, short match. Ricochet eliminated Humberto Carrillo, and then it was Jinder, who didn't even get a chance to compete because, again, it was a short match. So Ricochet made quick work of Jinder Mahal. And then, last but certainly not least, it was Sami Zayn. I actually enjoyed Sami Zayn versus Ricochet. I would not mind seeing a future match between them. And Sami Zayn ended up being victorious, so now we're not going to know. So now we know it's going to be Sami Zayn versus Nakamura for the Intercontinental title. If you ask me, it's kind of funny that it's like that, because I remember Sami Zayn and Nakamura were pairing, and Sami Zayn would call him Nakamura-san. But Nakamura really hasn't done anything with the Intercontinental title. I don't even remember when was the last time he defended it. I would have to go through my notes to check. But I think it's quite obvious Nakamura is going to lose that title to Sami Zayn. I'd be shocked if Nakamura retains. So then we get a Paul Heyman segment, which was basically a recap of his career from WCW to ECW to the Invasion, from that to managing Brock Lesnar to his current program with Roman Reigns. So like I said earlier in my stream, I think he's going to screw Roman at day one. He's going to align himself with Lesnar just to get back at Roman. Maybe. We'll see. And in the main event, it was a Miracle on 34th Street 6-man tag. It was Drew McIntyre and the New Day versus Madcap Moss and the Usos. So you guys know this is Rangers of Wrestling. You guys know that every time a wrestler wears Power Rangers attire, I gotta acknowledge that. King Woods was wearing his White Ranger pants. If you look closely, he was rocking that. I know you guys couldn't tell because he didn't have the full gear, but he had those white Power Ranger pants. I have to point that out. You guys know I have to point that out. So, King Woods got thrown into Christmas presents. Jey Uso in the middle of the match drank some eggnog. I don't know what was that, but you saw the aftermath. The Usos make a Christmas tree sandwich with King Woods. They each pick up a tree and slam him. All right, so after that, we had King Woods who opened a Christmas present, and it turned out to be a steel chair and ended up throwing it at one of the Usos. After, we got a segment where Kofi Kingston grabbed a tray of sugar cookies and threw them on the Usos' head, which I thought was pretty hilarious. Then, Kofi Kingston ended up pouring eggnog on Baron Corbin. Drew McIntyre joined in on the fun and poured some eggnog on both Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin. And then Drew McIntyre ended up winning the match for him and the New Day. So then at the end, after the match was over, King Woods was holding up a Christmas tree while wearing a little hat. And Kofi Kingston was holding a cane. And that pretty much closed off SmackDown. So I don't know if we're getting a SmackDown next week. I think this is the last SmackDown of the year because I think next week might be I'm not sure what's going on for next week. I think they said they were going to do a year in review. I'm not entirely sure. But day one is, I know next week's SmackDown is taped. I think day one is live though. So overall, this show wasn't as bad for a holiday special. Honestly, it really wasn't. Toni Storm versus Charlotte was good. Ricochet versus Sami Zayn was good. So that gauntlet match had some good moments in it. This match was okay. The whole point was just to it being basically a food fight, it seemed like it. Was it better than last year's Christmas special? I don't know. I would have to compare and contrast. But that being said, I'd give it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was a decent SmackDown for what we got. And thank you guys all so much for watching. As for Rampage tomorrow, I'll probably just record and upload like I've been doing. My next live stream will probably be on Monday. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys for Rampage. Probably recorded. And then I'll see you guys live on Monday. Bye.